Hi, my name is Sonia Azizi. I'm a real estate agent over at Compass. I run about a team of 12, and I've been doing the real estate side of things for about 6 years. Prior to that, I did loans for about 7 years, so I've truly seen everything. By that, I mean the inconsistency, the ups and downs that agents go through, or business owners go through, or loan officers. So my goal is to interview all the top people here in San Diego, whether you're a business owner, loan officer, or real estate agent, to really bring some value to our listeners, to people that are watching us, to really learn from them. So thank you for watching us in advance, and I really hope you enjoy this. Hi guys, Sonia Azizi here, and today we have the honor of interviewing Michael Najar. He's one of the top 1% agents here in San Diego. He's a good friend of mine, so thank you so much for coming on the show and talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
No problem. We're going to dive in and we're going to ask some questions. We're going to educate some of the new agents, loan officers, everybody out there, why it's so important to be consistent and, what does it take to be a top agent?
Well, there's a lot of parts to that question.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for referring me as a top agent.
You really are. I think he's just being modest. But tell us a little bit about what got you into real estate. Let's just go back a little bit.
Yeah. So I bought my first rental property at the age of 21.
Wow.
And
that's really young.
Yeah, thank you. And I really enjoyed the whole transaction process, and I actually bought it at one of the worst times, right before the housing market crashed, and I thought I was doing the right thing at that specific time. But I noticed that it's not a difficult business,
right?
Once you're actually doing the work. Like, I was actually finding the property at that time. I was reaching out to my real estate agent. I feel like I was also doing the negotiation process. So I liked being on that side of the transaction as a investor.
Okay.
But also I felt like I can actually tap into the real estate industry at that time. But of course I had other businesses that I was running at that time, so real estate wasn't my primary focus.
Okay.
But I did get into studying for my real estate exam back in 2007 and never completed it.
Okay.
I kind of put it on hold.
It wasn't a priority at the time.
It wasn't a priority.
Right.
I had other priorities at that time, and I think I was just kind of young and stupid. So,
well, you're buying a house at 21. Not too many young people can say that nowadays.
Yeah.
So.
And I actually revisited back in 2012.
Okay.
I started studying for my real estate license and got licensed in 2013.
Okay.
And that's really when I kind of dived into it. And technically, I really started selling homes in 2014 because I was kind of like every brand new agent, kind of figuring it all out.
Doing it kind of part-time. Do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? And what triggered that? Like, hey, I'm going to do this full-time.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I had a wholesale business that I was running for 8 years. And I was importing and exporting restaurant equipment from China.
Okay.
And I did that business for 8 years, and the business actually failed end of 2013 as I got my real estate license. And what I mean by failed is my manufacturer actually put me out of business. They started selling the product on Amazon and eBay for the same price that I was selling to my distributors.
Damn Amazon.
So my distributors figured it out quick, and my business started tanking from there. So I actually liquidated my last container, completely got out of that business, and instead of going part-time into real estate in 2014, literally right after Christmas, I'm like, okay, this is going to be my full-time gig.
Right after Christmas.
Literally, I said, okay, January 1st, real estate's going to be my only focus, and I completely closed the doors down for my other business, and that's when I kind of hit the ground running. I really had no choice.
Right.
My wife was pregnant with our first child, and I'm like, okay, it's either you sink or swim in this business. So I had no other choice.
Especially with a wife being pregnant and all.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
100%. 100%.
No, that's awesome. So first year, what did you do? What are some struggles, and what did you do on your first year?
Yeah, so more struggles, of course. And I think that's with all brand new agents, I would think. My first year, I started prospecting a lot.
Okay.
And I was told, prospect, leads, listings, and leverage. That's the name of the game.
Right.
The person that owns the listings is the one that owns the business. And that was my primary focus. I wanted
Right.
to make sure that I had as many listings as possible and have as much inventory that I can provide. So I prospected my first 6 months in the business. I didn't get my first check until I was 5 or 6 months in the industry.
I mean, that's about average, right? That's what you're told. But I mean, once you're in it, you're just like, okay, 6 months is a long time.
6 months is
Yeah.
a long time, and I actually got my first check. It was $1,500. And I did the math real quick. I said, okay, I made $1,500 in 6 months. I don't know if I can pay all my bills. So I was at a point where I was actually going to get out of the business.
Okay.
I sat down and spoke with one of my mentors, Dave Norberg, a really good friend of mine till this day. And I said, Dave, I think real estate's just not for me, and I'm going to throw in the towel. And he said, you need to stop that. He said,
Right.
you need to keep doing what you're doing
Okay.
and don't look back. He said, one day you're going to be so busy that you're not going to be able to handle all that business. And I said, okay, he's telling me that so I don't get out of the industry.
Right.
But, something told me deep down inside that I should listen to him and just keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm glad I did, because
good.
if I didn't have that conversation with him, I think I would have stopped the real estate business back in 2014 and just completely done something completely different. So
And you don't want to go back and compete with Amazon.
no, not at all. So I think that was a big decision in my life to continue with the real estate industry.
And I think that's wonderful that you say that, because there's so many agents that comes in here, and we've got 34,000 agents, as you know, in San
Wow.
Diego alone, which is a lot.
There's more real estate agents than driver licenses now.
Exactly, great. But I mean, they think it's easy. They think it's easy. I think that's why 85% of them quit the first year. And I think that, if you go in with the mindset that it's not easy,
Yeah.
but it's totally doable, you can do it with the right mentor, with the right team, with just that consistency.
Definitely.
Just stick through. I mean, what's that advice that you would give that first year agent?
Like I tell everyone, real estate is simple, but not easy.
Right.
And what I mean by simple is if you actually time block, if you actually follow a schedule,
Right.
you actually treat it like a real job. I think the biggest problem we have in this industry is we're 1099. We're independent contractors.
Right.
If this was actually a real job, right, when you actually clock in and clock out,
Right.
and you're actually being monitored with your production, I think more people would excel in this business.
Right.
But the fact that most people get into real estate because they want freedom, flexibility,
Right,
their
right.
own time. I think that's the problem. I think it's kind of setting them up for failure.
That's true.
Because if they don't have a specific schedule and they don't have a plan of what they're going to do,
Right.
it's really hard to succeed in this business. And that's just what I think. But from day one, I put myself on a schedule. I said, okay, I'm going to be in the office every single day at 7:30 a.m.
That's awesome.
7:30
Yeah.
a.m. I'm in the office, preparing my day in that 30 minutes before
Right.
8 a.m. And 8 o'clock, I have my headset on. I'm prospecting, and I have a schedule, 8 to 5. That's my schedule. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I don't work weekends, but I have a balanced schedule.
Right.
And just time blocking. You have to time block your day, and that's
Okay.
really that's the biggest thing I can tell any brand new agent is create a schedule.
Create a
The
schedule.
simplest thing you can do is create a schedule.
I know. I think it's just so many people that go in with I want flexible hours. I want to spend more time with this, but it's just if you want to be successful, you can't. You got to go in full time. But I think that also there's no other industry that you can go in and make this much money if you just put some work at it and just treat it like a job and just show up at the office. And that's my thing. I like showing up at the office. I can definitely work from home, but I feel like when I'm at the office, I can really I'm here to work. At home, I want to be at home. I think it's important to be present wherever it is that you are.
Correct.
So if I'm at home, I want to be with my kids and do my thing. And
100%.
At work, I just work mode. This is what I'm here for. I'm not going to waste any time. I'll be here till 5 unless I have appointments, and then just go pick up our kids, do our duty.
Of course. I mean, and that's just how life is. You have to time block everything, right?
Right.
And my biggest focus is God, family, and business.
That's
so
awesome.
for me, my business is actually not my first priority.
Okay.
It's my faith, my family, and then my business. And that's how I run my business. And my clients understand
I love that.
and they respect that.
Yeah.
And that's something that I go over with them
Okay.
when I list their property or are working with them as a buyer.
Set up their expectation
Set up their
accordingly.
expectations. They respect my timeline. Another big issue that most agents, and I hear this all the time,
Right.
is their clients calling them after hours and they're picking up the phone and having these conversations with them.
That's like everybody, right?
And that's a
How
lot of agents.
How do you not do it? Like, I mean, that's tough, right? They come in and they're calling you. I mean, sometimes I even get text messages at 11 o'clock at night. And keep in mind, I've told my clients, like, hey, I have children. I'm in bed at this time. But you get those text messages. So how do you just like say no? Do you ignore them or just respectfully?
So we're real estate professionals.
Right.
You can't call your attorney at 10 o'clock in the evening or to send them a
Right.
text because
Exactly.
you know your attorney is not going to get back to you or text you back.
Until the next
right?
day,
You
right.
can't go call your dentist after hours. So they're a professional in their industry, and as soon as you don't have control of your time,
Right.
you're no longer a professional. That's just how I feel. So my clients understand that I have operating hours. Just like any business, we have operating hours.
Yeah.
And when they know what your operating hours are, they're going to reach out to you during those operating hours. So I just learned to disconnect.
Do you say that to them like ahead of time so they don't, they respect that? Like, how do you have that conversation with them?
Yeah,
Like,
so I let them know that anytime you need to get a hold of me, I'm in the office until 5:30, Monday
Okay.
through Friday. So I'm
Okay.
in the office until 5. I'm pretty much telling them, reach out to me until 5:30.
Okay.
I'm saying it in a really nice way. I'm not saying, well, hey, don't call me at 8, 9 o'clock.
Right.
They're still going to call. I'm just not going to pick up. And they understand the next day I'll reach out to them, and that pretty much has the client understanding what your schedule looks like, because you gotta buy your time back with your family. And
That's true.
I think that's very, very important.
Especially with us having families, like that's so tough
100%.
to, just kind of have that special time with them. And, how do you explain that? I mean, it's tough enough that we're so busy, and some agents aren't busy, some are, but you and I, we're busy, and I'm interviewing you, and I'm just
Thank
like,
you.
how do you do it? So tell us a little bit, like, what does your daily routine look like?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, 7:30 I'm in the office.
Okay. What time do you wake up? What do you do
So
before 7:30?
I wake up at 6:45.
Okay.
I don't have to put any makeup or do my hair. As you can see, I don't have that much hair, so it's very, very easy to
I thought
maintain
you
myself.
had a little blush on there.
No, I'm in and out. 15, 20 minutes, I'm out of the house.
Okay.
I live nearby, so 7:30 I'm in the office. I prepare the lists for myself and the
Okay.
agents on our team
Okay.
to prospect for that morning. And then I make my coffee, and 8 o'clock, like I mentioned, I'm on the phone.
Okay.
I prospect Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. I lead generate for 3 hours
Okay.
every single day.
So what does that consist of? Like lead generation? You mean just you're on the phone? Are you calling a list? Are you calling past clients? Like what
Yeah.
is just you prepared a day before? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. So
Okay.
what I'm doing is I'm actually going on the MLS.
Okay.
I'm just looking at what sold yesterday. I don't care where that property is. It can be in La Jolla, it could be in PB. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And we're just calling the neighborhood. It's called circle prospecting. So we're calling the
Like
neighborhood.
circle prospecting.
Yeah, circle dialing,
Yeah.
circle prospecting. We're just pretty much picking a home, and we're just saying, the inventory is very low in the area because all over San Diego County, inventory is low. We're seeing a little bit increase right now, but
It's still low
It's still
overall.
low.
Okay.
So typical Mike Ferry script, when one home sells, usually 2 more sell right away. We never say that we sold the property because it's not one of our sales. But we say when one home sells, usually 2 more sell right away. So we were wondering, when do you plan on selling?
I like it.
And we just ask that simple
Right.
question. Either we get a yes or a no.
So you ask that. So whether they're selling or not, that's like part of the script. Like when do you plan on selling?
That's our script.
Okay.
And we're looking for the people that have their hands up, right? So if they say, well, we're thinking about it, we're 6 months down the line, a year down the line, we consider that a lead. That goes into our database, and we're going to keep following up with them until we can convert them.
Okay.
That's really what we've been doing, and I've been doing that for the last 6 years.
And it's been working.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much
Yeah.
my primary focus.
Okay.
So lead generation is pretty much to strangers. It's cold calling, it whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But we're looking for motivated buyers or sellers that want to buy or sell in 12 months or less. If they're past the year out, we don't put them in our database because we don't want to bog our database down. So that's really what our primary focus is just finding the right people that we can help out.
That's really cool. I mean, a lot of people are just so afraid of the phone, and so when you're hiring team members, I mean, what do you tell them? Like, okay, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Either you do it or you don't do it. You know, this is how I do things, and you've been successful doing it. And every time I hear, like, anybody that prospects, like, puts in the hour, like 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day in your case, you guys are successful because how many deals are you closing?
So this year I'm going to sell about 60 houses.
Okay. And that's just you and...
That's just my production.
Okay.
My personal production.
That's amazing.
That's not our team production. So,
okay.
And I've been consistent for the last 3 years, between 50 to 60 every single year.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the same thing. We're not reinventing the wheel.
Okay.
We're not being distracted by all these shiny objects, because there's so many different softwares or apps or ways of generating more business. I don't get distracted by those.
What about like the Zillows and all those lead purchases that everybody spends all their money?
You don't
do that.
I'm very frugal. I don't spend money on Zillow ads. You'll never find me on Zillow. You won't find me. I never built my business that way. So that's and it works for a lot of agents. Kudos to them. But that's just not how I built my business.
Okay.
And that's the good thing about this business is there's not that one magic pill or one specific way of generating business.
Right. There's different things that you can do. I'd say maybe do something that's something that you like to do. Like, some people hate the phones.
Correct.
Okay, fine. I hate the phones. Go door knock.
Go door knock. Go do open houses. Go stand in front of Home Depot and start talking to people. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you do. At the end of the day, you need to have conversations about real estate.
Okay.
Whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, you just have to have conversations. And this business, it's a numbers game. The more people you have conversations with, the more likely you're going to be successful in this business. It's very, very simple. There's no science to it.
No, there isn't. It's a numbers game.
You just have to have conversations.
Okay.
Because we always say, don't be that secret agent, right? How many times has a family member, and I get this all the time, where they're like, oh, I can't believe my aunt or my best friend listed their house and they didn't use me. I'm like, well, they don't even know you're a real estate agent because you don't have those conversations with them to educate them that you're in the business. Right? So it's very, very simple. Have a lot of conversations with a lot of different people.
You have 3 hours of conversations.
3 hours of conversations.
Every single day.
Every day.
And nothing's changed. And as successful as you are, like, you could just say, okay, you know what? I've hit my 60 deals. Today, I'm not going to make my phone calls. No, it's a habit, right?
I can't.
You just do it.
It's like, we have to breathe, right?
Right.
Okay, that's how prospecting is for me.
That's awesome.
It's my oxygen. I if I don't do it, I feel like there's going to be something wrong that day. So, I make sure that I don't miss a day.
Yeah.
And there's days, don't get me wrong, there's days I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but you do it anyway.
But I do because I know the reason why I'm helping this many clients this year and helping this many families is because of what I did probably 90 days ago.
Right. And then after that, it gets a little bit easier as years go by. You get a lot of referrals too.
So yeah, half of my business is referrals.
That's awesome.
Which is, that's one thing that I'm really proud about because I'm trying to get my business to 75% referrals and 25% from lead generating. So we do 2 client events every single year. I do a July party and I do a Christmas party. I invite all my past clients from 6 years ago. And I don't do any client gifts. I do these client parties because we want to create those memories.
Right.
And they'll generate more referrals, stay top of mind, and it's just me saying thank you to all my past clients for working with me.
That's awesome. It's a good way of like them inviting other family members and
Of
just
course.
having that conversation with them without,
Definitely.
so just kind of like be in their face every year.
Oh, yeah.
4 times a year it looks like, right? Or 3 times?
Well, I do 2. So I do 2.
Okay,
I do 2
okay,
client
2.
events every single year.
Okay.
But then I'm also following up with all my past clients every quarter. So I'm just checking in on them, just see if they have any questions because I want to be their real estate resource.
Right.
Whatever they want to do. If their fridge goes out, I want them to call me, right?
Wow.
If they need to refinance, I want them to call me. I want to be that person that can help them with any real estate question, not just buying and selling. I always want to stay top of mind. And our mission statement here at the Najar Group is building lifetime clients. And we believe in it. We want to make sure that it's not a, hey, we got a commission off of you and you're never going to hear from us ever again.
It's not like a numbers transaction.
No, not at all.
Right.
We want to build a relationship with all our clients. So
no, that's wonderful. That's the way to run a business. I think that's the difference between being, just like a flexible real estate agent and running your own business. And it's just like whether you go to Nordstrom's, it's just like you like the customer service and you want to go back. And you come back. You don't care. Nobody asks you what commission you charge. It's just like, we trust you and we know you'll get the job done and we only want to work with you.
Of course. If commission ever comes up, they don't see value.
They don't see value.
Yeah, commission. Anytime an agent talks about commission, it's just because the client is not seeing the value in what you're earning. So we don't actually have the commission topic come up. Very rarely does a client say, "What do you charge?" And
you're typically like, "Hey, I'm at 6%."
We're at 6%,
and there's no negotiating because they really see the value that you bring on.
Correct.
Okay, so I know you said till 11 o'clock you prospect.
Correct.
And then what are you doing? Are you going on appointments after that? So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I time blocked 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. for all my appointments.
Okay.
So 11 o'clock I'm checking all my emails because by then I probably have 100 emails because I don't check them all on lead generating.
Right.
So 11 o'clock I'm returning all my calls from agents or clients and emails.
Okay.
Noon I have my lunch. 1, 2 is appointments, and then the rest of the day is follow-up.
Wow, okay.
And that's it. And I'm done by 5 p.m. every single day. I'm out of the office by like 5:30.
That's awesome. That's really good that you have like that set schedule and you just follow it. And I love how your clients just understand that and respect that, and you're just like, that's the way to do it. And I know sometimes people ask like, well, weekends, like why don't you do open houses? But I think a lot of those agents are also not making calls 3 hours a day.
Correct. So I always have that mentality.
Yeah.
I'm going to work hard Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So I can enjoy the weekend.
Weekend with my family.
Right. So I can either kind of half-ass it during the weekdays and then also do open houses. And open houses are great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I know a lot of top agents that only do open houses and they're killing it. And that's their form of lead generating. For me, open houses never worked for me, just because. They say open houses represented, I think, like 2% of how homes were sold. I don't know the exact percentage.
I think those are the 2% of people that are actually doing the, closing deals.
Yeah.
I mean, with me, I only do open houses.
See, and it works just fine for you.
When I started like 6 years ago or so, I think that's what I was told by my coach is just like do open houses.
Yeah.
And I think, just jumping on the phone, we did that too, but I don't think that I can do it for 3 hours because it's not my thing. But I don't mind taking like a Wednesday, Thursday off so I can kind of hang out with my family and do all this stuff. And
of
then,
course.
Saturday from this time to this time, like I'm doing an open house, and then I have my sign setters that are putting my signs up and everything.
Ready.
Just get everything ready so that way I'm only there for 3 hours, just time block it, and then I'm with my kids. But open houses just, it works for me. But I don't make 3 hours of phone calls a day either.
Correct. Because that's your form of lead generating.
Exactly.
Plus, when football season starts on Sundays, what do you do?
I don't know anything
I can't
about
be watching football
so
during the open house.
Right.
I'm not doing a fiduciary to my client.
It's like, just the door's open, go look around.
Yeah. So, but it's whatever works
for you.
But what I say is, regardless of how your method of lead generating is, as long as you're consistent.
Be consistent.
That's all it is.
Yep.
A lot of agents will spread themselves too thin. They'll say, well, I want to lead generate. I want to call. I want to do open houses. I want to call FSBOs, expireds. Just pick one.
Okay.
Pick one and excel in it.
Okay.
And when you've excelled in that form of lead generation, then pick a second one, right?
Okay.
Read the book The One Thing by Gary Keller. What's called The One Thing. Focus on just one thing and do it at a high level, and your business will skyrocket.
So that's an interesting point that you bring up, because I think that when agents are starting out, it's like, okay, I'm going to make phone calls and then I'm going to do open houses, and I'm just, they're doing open houses Monday through Friday, and then they're making phone. I think it burns them out a little bit, and I'm always like, hey guys, just take a day off, relax, just enjoy it, because because they expect to get a lead from it and close the next month, and that's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works. But what I would think that a brand new agent should do is, they should spend a couple of weeks and do all that.
Right.
And find out what they like the best, right? So like on Monday, start making phone calls. Tuesday, go door knock. Wednesday,
Right.
do an open house, whatever it is, right? And find the one that you really enjoy and just run with it.
Okay.
Because as a brand new agent,
Right.
you're not sure what's going to work for you until you try it out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's why a lot of people, I mean, let's go back to what you said, that you got your first check, you know, after 6 months. And then you obviously stayed and you're very successful now. So what happened after that 6 months to get you to your 60 transactions? Like,
Yeah,
what,
so my second year in the business in 2015, I sold 35 homes.
Wow.
So my business went from 13 to 35. And the business that I got in year 2 was from all the lead generating, well, not all, but majority of the lead generating I did in year 1. So it just kind of rolled into year 2. And same thing for year 3. Year 3, I sold 50 homes.
wow.
And then year 4, 55 the following year. So I've been consistent around 50 to 60. This year I'm going to help around 60 families.
Okay.
And it's usually the lead generation from years prior.
So that's why I think these agents don't, just because they don't see a result now.
They want
but
instant gratification.
They want instant gratification, but they have to know just because you're not seeing it now, you will in the future, and like in your case. So if you're putting in the phone calls, you're, you know, time blocking those phone calls, you're doing the open houses, and you're calling and texting and doing all that stuff, it's just going to take a minute, and it's just all going to come back all at the same time. I mean, that's what happened to me. That's what's happening to you. So it is a numbers game. So the more you call, the more you prospect, it's there. Just give it some time.
It's there.
And then your second year, you did 35 transactions.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
amazing.
Think of it as a funnel, right?
Yeah.
A funnel, the top of the funnel, it's a big opening.
Yeah.
That's where all your leads are. You're going to be lead generating. They're all going to be coming in through the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the funnel, you're going to get a few deals from that, right? So you're not going to convert every single client or lead that you've generated. You're going to convert a small percentage. But if you don't start high here on the top of the funnel, it's hard to get any business.
Right.
And that's what it really comes down to is every lead that you generate, whether you meet it at an open house or cold calling or whatever it is, that client or a lead is kind of like inventory. Imagine if you had a store with inventory. If your store is empty, people are going to walk in and they're not going to buy anything.
I like that.
The more inventory you have, the more options clients have, and you're going to be doing more sales. So every lead is inventory. If anyone says they're a real estate agent, we're not. We shouldn't even call ourselves real estate agents. We should call ourselves lead generators.
Okay.
That should be our title.
Okay, I like
Right?
it.
We shouldn't be realtors. We should be lead generators. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have a client or a lead, you have no business.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to.
What are some things that that's simple mistakes that you see agents make?
Not being consistent.
I
mean,
agree.
they all start strong in the beginning. I'm going to do all this, and and they do it for about a week, sometimes not even a week, and then they stop. And it's just staying consistent,
Okay.
and believing in the system. Because I didn't. I'll tell you, like I said, I was going to quit in 6 months. I didn't believe in the system. Stick to a schedule and to a system and be consistent.
And do you think like those guys that walk in that just got their real estate license, is that something, do you think that they should just go in a big team or like, you know, just like one of those bigger companies, or do you think they should just interview and, you know, find a mentor?
Well, here's what I would recommend for anyone that's getting
Yeah.
their license. Start before you get your license. Don't start selling homes.
Right.
Start building your database.
Okay.
So 90 days prior, as you're studying for your state exam, start building a database of all your friends and family and everyone that you know, your sphere.
Okay.
Build that database.
That's great advice.
And start reaching out to them and say, hey, look, I'm getting my real estate license in the next couple months. Who do you know that I should be talking to about buying or selling real estate? Don't discuss commissions, don't discuss price, but plant that seed in their mind, so as soon as you get your license, you already have some immediate business coming through. Because out of the 13 deals that I did my first year, 9 of them were my sphere.
Okay.
9 of them were the people that already knew me, liked me, and trusted me. So build up that database, and then as soon as you get your license, definitely get a mentor, join a team. I mean, that's the best way of learning, right? Learn from the best,
Yeah.
and that will pretty much build your path.
I like it. So, I ask this question, everybody I interview is, what's some advice and, goals that you have? I mean, that you would give to other agents, or, what is your goals? Like, what do you want to get out of it? Do you want to be a real estate agent until you're 70? Like, what are some things that what's that ultimate goal, and what's this why that you have?
Yeah, so my ultimate goal is to keep building our team and building rock stars.
Okay.
My goal is to pretty much have our team fully functioning, and as I get older, I can't imagine myself retiring from the industry. I just love the industry so much. I'll still be present,
right?
But I see myself more of me coaching my team members on our team to excel at a high level. I think Zig Ziglar says it best: if you can help, and don't quote me on this, the more people you can help, right, the more you'll accomplish your goals. Something to that nature. That's how my focus is. The more people I can actually help succeed, I'll automatically succeed myself. So yes, I don't see myself being 70 years old and going on listing appointments. I see myself coaching other agents on our team to do that, and just being their mentor. So.
I love it. And I love that you've only been doing this for 6 years. You're super passionate about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then your first year, you wanted to quit. You have all those thoughts that any new agent does, but staying consistent. And here you are, kicking butt, being the top 1% consistently, which is awesome. So thank you again for being on our show. And how do we get a hold of you? Like, where can people find you?
Yeah, so my email is as my first initial of my name, and then Najar, Najar, at kw.com.
Awesome. And what is your phone number?
619-277-1230.
So if you guys have any questions or need advice, just call him.
Yeah.
Past 5:30, because he'll pick up.
Yeah, past 5:30, you'll enjoy my voicemail.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having
really
me.
appreciate it and educating everybody that's watching.
My pleasure. Thank you.